Aquaba, welcome back. Like Amilcar Cabral, Thomas Sankara met his demise at the hands of brutal assassins, his body riddled with bullets. Born in 1949, Sankara was a revolutionary of the First Order, a Pan-Africanist who believed in absolute autonomy of his country and is often referred to as the African Che Guevara, the revolutionary leader of Cuba. Sankara was a bright student. He joined the military and rose through the ranks after demonstrating his courage and strategic skills. He became a member of a secret military group. One of its members, Blaise Compaoré, organized the coup that put him in power and also took him out. A charismatic leader, Sankara seized power in the coup with the intention of eliminating government corruption and ending French influence that resulted in a neo-colonialist state. Sankara's vision was economic and social. He changed his country's name from the French designation of Upper Volta to Burkina Faso, meaning the land of upright people. Upright meant free of corruption, debt, imperialism, and foreign aid, in his view. It also meant a country that took definitive action to take care of itself. Upon taking the reins of power as the first president of Burkina Faso, he immediately instituted a program of reform that was ambitious and wide-ranging in scope and extraordinary in depth. Sankara moved fearlessly, with confidence and urgency, to enact policies to fulfill his vision. In many ways, Sankara was ahead of his time. He significantly reduced the influence of the World Monetary Fund and the World Bank by nationalizing all land and mineral wealth. His emphasis on agrarian sufficiency led him to redistribute land to peasants, doubling the production of wheat. Socially, he prioritized education, public health, and women's rights. He was congratulated by the World Health Organization when he implemented vaccination of 2.5 million people against yellow fever, polio, meningitis, and measles in 1 week's time. He also mandated every village to build medical facilities and was the first African government to publicly recognize the threat of AIDS to the continent. His initiatives to promote literacy resulted in over 350 villages building schools with their own labor. With a priority on housing and the environment, he created brick factories for new homes to be built and founded the People's Harvest of Forest Nurseries to supply 7,000 village nurseries. He had millions of trees planted to halt increasing desertification of the Sahel. To tie the nation together, he developed yet another ambitious project of roads and railway construction that connected the regions, all constructed by the people of Burkina Faso without outside funding or foreign aid. This feat, all by itself, literally shook the foundation of African development ideas in the West, with their tendency to promote dependency through help and foreign aid, always accompanied with strings attached. In terms of lessons, this is one reason why MDDK is funded from within our community, but I digress. As if the monumental work wasn't enough, Sankara operationalized a serious commitment to the rights of women. He outlawed female genital mutilation, forced marriages, and polygamy, and encouraged women to stay in school and or work outside the home, even if pregnant. He told the men of his country to try walking in the women's shoes to gain understanding. Go to the market, make a meal. Sankara wanted men to rethink the role of women. He understood that women, and I quote, hold up the other half of the sky. Recognizing the talent and power of women, Sankara's administration was the first African government to appoint women in significant positions in his governing cabinet. Sankara's legacy was recognized in 2007 with honoring ceremonies in Burkina Faso and a number of African countries, including Mali, Senegal, Niger, Tanzania, and Burundi. Sankara celebrations also took place in France, Canada, and the United States. In 2019, a statue was erected in the place of his assassination. Finally, in 2022, former President Blaise Compaoré was sentenced in absentia to life imprisonment in the brutal murder of President Thomas Sankara, along with two of his former top aides. Compaoré was ousted in a coup in 2014 and fled to the Ivory Coast and is believed to still be alive. Sankara's belief that women hold up half the sky leads this discussion to the rights of women and the work of Kenyan-born political activist, playwright, poet, writer, and professor, Dr. Michere Gethe Mugo. Full disclosure, my beloved mentor, Dr. Kariamu Welsh, named me after Dr. Michere Mugo in 1990. In a twist of fate, a Bermudian resident from Kenya paved the way for she and I to connect and correspond in 2021. Born in 1942, Mugo was thrust into an activist role as a young person as one of the first Blacks enrolled in a formerly segregated academy. Along with other students, she was also forced to view her dead countrymen who fought in the armed revolution waged by the Kenyan Land and Freedom Party. In the uprising, commonly known as Mau Mau, the people fiercely fought against British colonialism and oppression. Needless to say, forcing young people to look at the gruesome remains of the dead was designed to be a deterrent to students becoming radicalized against the British. But it did not deter her. The daughter of two progressive educators who were also politically active, these experiences left an indelible mark. After graduating from university with honors, Mugo became a liberation activist in earnest. She was even arrested and detained in a jail cell populated by men. No doubt it was hoped that she would be brutally raped, but she was freed unscathed. However, with the ascension of Daniel Moi to the president of Kenya, Mugo became the target of official government persecution once again. After police harassment, jailing, and being stripped of her Kenyan citizenship, she was forced into exile for her activism, advocating against human rights abuses under Moi's dictatorship regime. Dr. Mugo relocated to Zimbabwe with her young children in 1982 and was granted citizenship there. Mugo was not intimidated. She continued her activism through speaking engagements and writing plays, poetry, essays, and literary criticism. The author of 15 books, she wrote from a traditional African, Pan-African, and feminist perspective. Of this vocation, she said, and I quote, "Writing can be a lifeline, especially when your existence has been denied, especially when you have been left on the margins, especially when your life and process of growth have been subjected to attempts at strangulation, end quote. Relocating with her daughters to the United States, Dr. Mugo secured a professorship at Syracuse University, and her activism continued. Her legacy assured, she founded and was president of PACNY, the Pan-African Community of Central New York, was a speaker for Amnesty International, and has been bestowed a number of awards, including the top 100 of Kenyan influencers of the 20th century. In 2021, Dr. Michere Gathe Mugo was presented the Royal African Society's Lifetime Achievement Award in African Literature, and a celebration of her contributions was held during the literary conference in May 2023, attended by women influenced by her work from the diaspora, the continent, and even Japan. If I may, I'd like to give you poetically a praise song to honor her. You, Iyade Michere, have been a light, a foundation builder, leading in education, literature, scholarship, humanism, and the rights and writings of women from Kenya to Zimbabwe, from Japan to the United States, from the Caribbean to the world. As a womanist freedom fighter, a Pan-African activist on the political stage, fearlessly, in spite of the risks, you inspired, mentored, selflessly giving larger-than-life examples, an exemplar, a space creator for your sisters and brothers globally. Your work, your being, and your presence in body and spirit, whether physically or in the ethers, transformed, inspired, motivated, and elevated our condition as women, and the sparkling testimonies of your influence are numerous. Gratitude overflows. My beloved sister Kariamu knew your power, felt your spirit, and received your friendship. With pride, she introduced me to your name and your world. As she smiles for the ancestral ethers at the glorious connection, I am beyond honored to carry your name. Ashe. Hotep. I am Mwalimu Melody Michere Van Putten, and this is Mwalimu Dropping the Knowledge.
Truth, justice, righteousness, harmony, balance, order, reciprocity. 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 Justice, righteousness, harmony, balance, order, reciprocity. Truth, justice, righteousness,